Just days after urging his supporters to swarm the courthouse and protest his criminal trial, Donald Trump blamed police for this sparse and embarrassing MAGA response.
It's interesting outside for great Americans, people that want to come down and they want to protest at the court and they want to protest peacefully. We have more police presence here than anyone's ever seen. For blocks, you can't get near this courthouse.
But that, of course, was just not true. As NBC's Vaughn Hilliard noted, the courthouse is open to traffic, and Hilliard posted this video to prove it. While Trump's lies have long been on display, his loneliness and feelings of abandonment are also emerging.
It has been striking that there's no family, because I know that there was some discussion at some point in the last couple of weeks about who would be with him in court. And last week, which was just jury selection, there weren't that many people. Today, there was a phalanx of lawyers from his other cases and from the Trump org who showed up in court, but I think it's because they were next door dealing with this New York Attorney General appeal. He is by himself, and when he feels boosted is by his supporters. And so he has been hoping for something of a circus around his trial. But the reality, Anderson, is that only 2 to 3 dozen supporters max over the last week have shown up. And they're positioned to protest / demonstrate / whatever across the street from the courthouse. Trump started trying to suggest on Truth Social that that's why the number's been so small, is that they're all being blocked. But that's not it. It's that people are not showing up.
People are not showing up for Donald Trump. Talk about humiliating. And that's just the political or personal hit. Legally, many criminal trial experts say Donald Trump keeps digging his hole deeper and piling up the evidence against him through Trump's own rambling courthouse hallway news conferences. Keep in mind, Donald Trump is accused of falsifying business records to hide hush money payments in the 2016 presidential campaign.
This is a case where you pay a lawyer who's a lawyer, and they call it a legal expense. That's the exact term they use, legal expense, in the books. And another thing that wasn't even said was we never even deducted it as a tax deduction. So that takes a whole vast area. Most people want to deduct everything. We never even took it as a tax deduction. But they call the payment to a lawyer a legal expense.
And if that was true, and Trump had nothing to hide, he would have included that legal expense in his tax deductions, just like all the other legal expenses were included in his tax deductions. But by Donald Trump and his team not claiming this on his taxes, it shows Trump knew this was different. And that shows Trump's consciousness of guilt. In other words, contrary to what Donald Trump is trying to say publicly, this is not evidence that helps him, it is evidence that only hurts him and helps prove his alleged criminal intent. Meanwhile, by most accounts, the prosecution case is off to a strong start. Right off the bat, in the testimonial evidence phase, Donald Trump was betrayed to his face by David Pecker, a former friend and publisher of the National Enquirer.
There's no other way to put this. David Pecker is killing Donald Trump on the stand today. His testimony that's fitting like a glove with the prosecutor's promises to the jury in their opening statement. Those were checks the prosecutors wrote that now David Pecker is cashing all against Donald Trump.
Here's the headline from the New Republic. Trump hush money trial witness drops bombshell about the 2016 election. Quote, David Pecker, the former publisher of the National Enquirer and former CEO of its parent company, American Media Inc., told the court Tuesday that he and Trump had coordinated not just to publish positive coverage of his friend ahead of the 2016 election, but also to publish negative coverage of other presidential candidates. And doing so, Pecker practically admitted to the catch-and-kill media scheme that Trump has repeatedly denied. Trump had asked, "What can I do and what my magazines can do to help the campaign?" Pecker said. Pecker had responded that he could publish positive stories about Trump and negative stories about his opponents. And again, Trump has denied this catch-and-kill media scheme. In the defense phase of this trial, Trump could conceivably waive his Fifth Amendment rights against self-incrimination and testify to try and undercut Pecker. But the judge recently ruled that if Trump does take the witness stand, prosecutors can cross-examine Trump and bring up Trump's fraud in the New York Attorney General civil case, the contempt findings against Trump, the defamation verdict in the E. Jean Carroll case, and the fact that Donald Trump was forced to dissolve his foundation because of fraud. Prosecutors didn't get everything they were hoping for as ammunition, but they did get most of it. In other words, if Donald Trump does take the stand in his own defense, he is screwed. And Trump may be screwed anyway before then. Courtroom witnesses say you can see this in Trump's body language and social media screeds. Amidst all of this is the Trump 2024 political campaign. And now, a new anti-Trump ad is running on cable channels, including Fox News. Yes, Fox News is running the spot from a group called Republican Voters Against Trump. The title is No Mall Would Hire Donald Trump.
I was wondering if you guys are hiring right now. I was thinking about applying for a job. I was thinking about applying for a job here. I'm currently facing 88 felonies for detention of classified information. Do you all take people that have been found liable for sexual assault, trying to overturn the 2020 election, falsifying business records? I was wondering if that was going to be a problem.
I think working with diamonds and jewelry.
They're gonna do a background check.
Yeah.
So that's the only.
So probably not.
Yeah.
So do you guys hire people that have been found liable for sexual assault, or?
No. We run a phone background. It won't
Okay.
go through. No, we don't.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Donald Trump has been charged with 88 felonies and found liable for sexual assault. If Trump is too big of a liability to get a job at your local mall, he is too big of a liability to be president of the United States. Republican Accountability PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Brutal ad, and it comes as Donald Trump's poll numbers are dropping and President Biden is widening his narrow presidential polling lead. But November, of course, is several months away. In the meantime, Donald Trump seems to now realize his New York criminal trial is already not going well. Making matters worse, Trump has been physically abandoned by his own supporters, who instead of heeding Trump's call to protest at the courthouse, are leaving Trump isolated. And all Donald Trump can do is lie about it. By the way, one of Donald Trump's fiercest defenders in Congress is now getting burned by her own explosions at fellow Republicans. We are talking, of course, about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
This is the most disgusting business model that anyone has ever seen, probably in the history of mankind.
On the Steve Bannon Show, Georgia Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene trashed her party support for Ukraine, and perhaps projecting, Greene claimed Republican voters are sick of the House Speaker.
They are absolutely done with Republican leadership like Mike Johnson, who totally sold us out to the Democrats. Joined the Uniparty faster than anyone we've ever seen in history.
He has completely betrayed the Republican Party. He has completely betrayed Republican voters.
And now, as the New Republic headline says, conservatives quickly turn against idiot Marjorie Taylor Greene. Sunday's New York Post front page, Niet Moscow Marjorie. That's the nickname Greene received recently from former Republican House member Ken Buck.
Moscow Marjorie is focused now on this Ukraine issue and getting her talking points from the Kremlin.
Check out that video in the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular is from Mr. Main Beach, who wrote, "She is a perfect example of why all other Neanderthals went extinct." Come on. Neanderthals weren't that bad, were they? I look forward to reading your comments about Donald Trump flipping out after being abandoned at his criminal trial. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.